really quick here. Okay, perfect. It's recording. How is your guys' week going? Like, what are the biggest kind of questions and pain points that you have? Is there anything that's kind of come up this week that I can help with before we jump into kind of the work session part of it at all? And you can feel free to unmute. Hey, Stephanie. Hey, Emily. Is there anything that's kind of popped up as like, holy moly, this has been a big pain point, or anything that's been like, oh my gosh, this is working super, super well for me this week, and like, you know, whether it's an Instagram story or something like that, is there anything like that that's working for you guys? Or no? Okay. Well, we are going to go ahead and actually just work. And so while we do this, if you have questions as we go, like literally, I'm going to just set a timer and I'm going to work alongside with you. But if you have questions on stuff, like please unmute or just share, or if there's like problems that you're having or anything like that, let me know and we can kind of do that together. But it's honestly pretty rare that I work my business straight for an hour, unless it's at like 9 or 10 at night after my kids have gone to bed. Usually during the day, I'm doing these little power pockets here and there. So we're just going to kind of go through the business activity tracker, but let me share my screen here. These are some fun slides for it. So hold on here, I can find it. Not that. Sorry. I know you can see how many tabs I keep open on my computer. My husband makes fun of me. It's really embarrassing. That's not it. Here we go. Okay. So first thing is, and I like to start with this. I know that this is not on the tracker, but I firmly believe that if your mindset is not right in this business, my tabs look no good, Katie. Okay, Mallory will totally talk with this too. Okay, so first of all, I know this sounds all woo-woo, but if you're not in the right mindset, when you send invites, when you do posts, people can tell. Like, it just is the truth. So let's kind of drop in the chat bar, where are you at with SC? What are you inviting to? Like, where are you at with your goals? Because I think actually knowing it is really important. And then what I want you to challenge to do, and I'm actually going to set a timer for right now for 10 minutes, is to write or read your why. Go back to, you know, what is it that made you start coaching? And when you keep that at the forefront of your mind, that is going to be like truly what helps you show up with passion and with purpose. And that makes all the difference. So kind of just do a quick evaluation of where you're at, because then what helps us inform our action of where we need to be. And then also I want you to go love on some people. So text or message 3 to 5 people that you're really grateful for, that you're a coach, whether they are your personally sponsored coaches or maybe they're your challengers. Just go give some love, not asking for anything, just literally go love on some people. And that I'm going to read through these really quick while you guys are doing that. And I have my timer going. So let me see this chat here. Following back. Okay, we will definitely talk about that for sure. And I'm sorry if you can hear my kids yelling. My husband just got home and it's a zoo out there. So I'm actually going to go through some of my newest challengers and give them some love. Just say hey, and my newest coaches. And then I have my why written on my bathroom mirror, so I have to stare at it every day when I come in here. That helps a lot too. And then I will just be honest with you guys, like I am not at my Success Club goal for the month. I am not at my coach goal for the month. I have hit Success Club, but I always, and this might help some of you guys mentally. So 2 things can kind of happen at the end of the month. Number 1 is you hit your goals, so you start saving people, or you haven't hit your goals, and so then you get discouraged and you throw in the towel. And I just want to challenge you on both of those things. If you have already hit your goals, I mean, unless you're like crazy high and you know the person's a shoe-in and it's the 31st, you're like, oh, just order tomorrow. Like, totally do that. But don't just sit and save people with like this scarcity mindset. I'd encourage you to push every single day. Like, I want to hit Success Club today. I want to hit Success Club tomorrow, like that kind of a drive. And then if you're not at your goals yet, guys, so much can change in 24 hours. And so that one, like that is something that's super important to keep your mindset right again. It's like, don't throw in the towel and say, oh, June will be better. Like, work now with intention, and you don't know what the work will look like, but it's moving the needle forward. So I'd also, If you haven't started a BOD group yet, make sure you have that in, even if no one's in there yet, just so it's there. If you need help with that, definitely let us know. I'm inviting to right now my June challenge group that's going to be starting prep week, the second week of June, and also the coaching opportunity. So I'm kind of inviting to both of those things depending on who I'm talking with right now. So that is where I'm on that. Let me see, there's more questions coming in. So we're going to talk, when I get to the social media side, we will talk about the following. So Stephanie, can you clarify what you mean by that question? Because the container is Fixate, or the container is Ultimate Portion Fix, and the plated method is 2B. So can you kind of clarify what you mean by your question?
That makes so much more sense. So when like my mom, she's very not tech savvy, and she had specifically asked, hey, can you just kind of like dumb it down and break it down for me? So I tried the way that it makes sense to me and the way that I'm working with it. And then I also realized that the containers are the nutrients that you need in a day, right? But your calorie count is still can be outside of those containers. So because they have like a range of like 2,000 or something like that of a calorie target. And so she was saying, so that's where you can add in, you know, your milk or your coffees or your whatever the other things are, just keeping your calorie target in mind. And she was trying to understand how to make a meal plan with containers, but she doesn't have her containers yet. So I sent her that little picture of the breakdown of the actual measuring cups and everything, and it was helpful. But then I just realized I didn't do that with any of my other new people, and anytime I post in their group about nutrition or like share your meal plan or share what you're cooking, nobody ever responds. And I have half a mind to be like, does everybody know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, so I would definitely go live or like do a little video or check in with them. And if any of you guys have tips on this, feel free to unmute or chime in. A couple things like backtracking, I always, and I'd say about 80 to 90% of my people end up doing it, but I always add in either Ultimate Portion Fix or 2B Mindset to the cart because it's 60% off. So I get them set up with that. But a couple tools that you can let them know about, like Fixate is in there, and they have all these like foundational prep videos, but in Beachbody On Demand, and you guys probably know this, but I can just show you really quick here. And all of the programs do this, but some of them do them better than others, I think. So let me go into this here really quick so I can show you. While you guys are loving on people, we have a couple minutes left. Okay, so for instance, let me just pull up BAR. Program materials in BAR, you can go through here, and they actually have down here, split by 2B and Ultimate Portion Fix, they have a sample meal plan already done. So you could give this to her. And the 21-day fix, if you go there, they have this as well. They have all sorts of ones. And then it's like, it's already done, but then you could also be like, okay, let's build this out. You know, if you hate tempeh, if you can pronounce it right. I don't do vegan. If you can do that, like, okay, that's a protein, like let's do something else here instead, but it kind of gives you something to go off of. And our goals with our challengers is kind of that empowerment. Like you can give a man a fish and feed him for a day, or teach a man a fish, you know, and feed him for a lifetime. So we're wanting to teach them to fish. We're wanting to teach them how to meal plan. So giving them these resources and then kind of being like, okay, cool. Here is my meal plan for the week. And I'm just going to share it with you. Let's see yours. And it kind of sometimes gives them things to go off of. So that, I don't know if that would help her, Stephanie, but it's really, really, it's like, I think an underutilized tool in BOD that people forget that we have, that's kind of done for you. And sometimes just seeing it on paper, even if they're not going to make all of these recipes, it kind of clicks. It starts to click. And then Stephanie, and I'm sure Rachel does for you guys, but in our Google, like our team Google Drive, there's a whole like meal plans thing as well, where there's a bunch that are already done that you can use. But I kind of like to lean on these, honestly, because they're really pretty. So.
And I like your Google spreadsheet where you can fill in things. That's helpful too in the Drive.
Yeah, exactly. So I think sometimes just showing people like, here's mine, even if it's just jotted out on a piece of paper, or If you have the Beachbody Nutrition app, you can download that. It's free, and they can, like, if they're, which maybe is not your mom, but if they're digital, they can like log in their container count. I've seen girls do it whiteboards on their fridge, or, you know, like things like that, but kind of tracking it that way can help too. So Mallory, yeah, it is super helpful to have. It's cool. They just give us so many resources, and I feel like I don't even use half of them. I'm so proud of you, Stephanie. You are doing awesome. Okay, so we have a couple, we can kind of move on from this one. I'll turn off my timer here so it doesn't go off, but hopefully you guys got that kind of like, okay, let's love on people, just get your mindset right of where we're headed. So now we're going to add followers and connect. So we'll kind of talk about getting people to follow you back, but first of all, go find an inspo account that targets something in your life. So I always use this example. I love going to the account Scissortail Silk. Becky Thompson is one of my favorite bloggers, or Heidi St. John, or it's like they're smaller. It's not necessarily like someone from The Bachelor or like a huge TV show, but just like go to someone that you enjoy following, and go look at who is commenting and following their stuff. Now, you can kind of do this two ways. You can, I'm going to set a timer here really quick. You can go and actually look through every person, like only add a couple people and like have it be very strategic, or you can kind of just go through and like add, and then unfollow them later if you want to, if they're like not your people. But go look at who, and I personally don't go to their followers as much as I do to the post, and look at who's commenting and engaging on their more recent posts, because that is really showing people who are more active on social media. So that's what I do. And then 3, 2, 1 them. So, and I do them in this order. I don't follow them first. I like their comments. I like their posts. I leave 2 comments, and I try not to do the 2 most recent posts. I try to do like 1 recent and then maybe scroll a couple down and like comment on that with a question, and then 1 follow. And if they do have a story up, then I will go watch that and like shoot over something like, oh my gosh, you know, they're so cute, or, you know, my daughter's turning 3 next week and that's such a great idea for a water table for your kids, or, you know, just something that's genuine, like an actual comment, like be sincere, but go engage on some stuff. And the thing is with social media is you have to be social. And this was something that I had to learn the hard way. Yeah, so go to their followers. I'm just looking at the comments here. Go to their followers, and you can either look at their followers or go to their most recent post. So I'll just pull up, I can just kind of do one here live for you. But you have to be social. And if you're like me, you actually had to learn how to do this because maybe you weren't super active on social media before. And so this has been a learning curve for me, but I really have to think, like, if I'm complaining about, I'm not getting anyone following me, no one's liking my stuff, no one's commenting on my stuff, I first have to look and say, like, am I giving what I want to receive? Like, am I actually going and giving? And this doesn't have to take all day. This could take 10 minutes. So hopefully you're doing that while I'm talking. And then second thing, am I adding content that people would want to engage on? Am I giving things that people would want to see? So let me just go pull up Becky Thompson, because she's just top of mind right now. And so I'll just show you guys what I mean. And you can go to bigger accounts as well. But so I would just go look at, let's say, this cute picture of her daughter. So 730 people like this post. And I'm just going to go, like, she's probably, oh, yeah, she's not a coach. I'm like, oh, look at, I love this, self-care. So I'm going to go like 3. Oh, I'm blocked on Instagram right now from liking and commenting. I don't know why. And I can't post either. So I can only do stories right now. It's super annoying. So I can't actually do this, but I'll just show you. Like, I would go comment on this and maybe engage on a couple of her things, and then I would give her a follow. And so then I'd go back to that account, go back to Becky Thompson. Again, this does not need to take hours of your day, guys. Like 10 minutes is plenty, and you can do this really, really fast. So go find some people, go love on their stuff, go be social. And if you're having an issue with people following you back, I would just look, like, again, do a self-audit on your stuff. Are you sharing things that they would want to follow you for? Who are you following? And that's the other thing. Like, are you following people who are actually in your target demographic. So like for me, I get a lot of young moms, like people with kids 5 and under, because that's like my age group, and I'm posting content that is applicable to that. So I don't have a lot of followers of college age kids. I don't have a lot of followers of girls who are 20 something, because I'm not posting stuff about them. So make sure that if you're like, well, no one's following me, are you posting only about Beachbody, or are you actually adding value? So again, just some examples for you is like, I know what people like to see. I talk a lot about the real days of mom life. I share, people love recipes, so I share those. And it's not every post, like I do a lot of call to actions as well. People love, I haven't done one in a while. I post pretty consistently, so I'm gonna have to scroll back a few. But I do a lot of like toddler tips or kids activities. Again, I'm speaking to my people. These may not be your people, but knowing what people like to see. People love when I do stuff with my husband. So this was like a funny TikTok video thing we did. So those kind of speaking to another funny TikTok video. This was bread in a bag. This was a kids activity. These are things that people want to see. So I mix it through, and then in my stories as well, if you go look at them, that's where I get probably 90% of my sales come from my stories. Because again, I'm just adding value. I'm sharing a devotional. Here's my workout. Here's what we're having for dinner. Here's something funny my kids are doing. Like, it's just kind of mixed in there. So think about what I want to follow me and do that. And then it's just hit or miss. Like, I am not, I'm not offended when someone doesn't follow me back. And so I'm like, okay, like I need to go find new people. Stephanie. Yeah, I do not follow other coaches. I follow a couple, like ones that I just personally like fill my cup, but I struggle with comparison big time. And I don't want to be like, I want blinders on. Like, I want to do me, and I don't want to feel like, oh, I need to do what she's doing, and I need what she's doing, and because everyone does stuff so differently. So don't follow other coaches. Like, go creep on their account sometimes if you want some inspo, like a post idea or some stories ideas, but definitely don't follow, because you want to keep your feed like you. So that, hopefully that helps with the followers piece. And again, if you're consistently following people from the same, like let's say you're struggling getting people to follow you back, and you only use Becky Thompson's account for following people, well then maybe that's clear that that's not quite your brand. So go switch it up a little bit, mix it up, look at some hashtags. So, and again, I don't know if I can do this from my computer. Let me try. So one thing that's kind of cool is if I type in a hashtag, I can look, and it'll also bring up some suggested ones, right? So I don't do, if I'm going to go follow people from hashtags, I do not do ones that are specific to Beachbody. I rarely do fitness ones unless it's like something like postpartum fitness or something like that. I'm not doing fitness stuff. And then I would go look at, Mom Life has 50 million posts. I'm not going to look there, but I might go look at Mom Life Keeping It Real. That's 15,000, so it's a little bit smaller. And then I can look at top, and again, on your phone, it's going to look a little bit different, but I look at most recent. I go to most recent because top posts are probably some big blogger or influencer or something like that. This one's not as big, but I'll go and look. Actually, she's a coach. I know who she is, but I'll go look at that and be like, okay, what looks like a photo that I would post? Like this one, probably not a coach. Boom. Okay, this is cute. Little toddler girl. I'm a toddler mom. And I'll go that way. So that's another way that you can follow, is going and looking at hashtags. And when you type them in, it'll bring up ones that are similar to what you're looking for. So again, think of things in your demographic that are not necessarily tied to coaching. For me, I would do things like Mom Life. I would do devotional stuff. I would do home design stuff because we're working on remodeling a bunch of our house. You can do Target. I mean, like, think Oreos, seriously, just think about the things that you enjoy. Look around your room, or think of like what brands you have hanging in your closet, just kind of start going places and dabbling. So that's another way that you can go connect with people and just do it really quick. Stephanie had someone this week say they were encouraged to get their containers out because I've been posting. Yes, exactly. You're educating them. You're adding value that way. That's huge. So that's, I think, super, super important there. So go connect with those people. Hopefully you guys have done that. So we can kind of move on. It's been about 10 minutes. Or do you guys need more time on this? Are you good? You're ready? A little bit more time. Okay, perfect.
So Abby, can I just ask really quick?
Yeah.
It's Emily.
Yeah.
Do you keep track of all those accounts that you follow, or you just go in and then if you wind up getting something back, then you get something back from your posts? I mean, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. So honestly, I probably should, but I know you're in a similar boat to me. I just don't have time. Like,
no, I don't.
I don't have time.
That's the biggest thing I'm struggling with is just time.
And so you have to kind of learn to, and you'll get better at this, but you have to kind of learn just to like do it quick, move on, and start to find a flow. So I only track the people I actually invite. I don't even track convos that I'm having. I only, like, once I send the invite, that's when I start tracking, like paying attention.
Okay.
So I would just kind of like, just in mass, be like, I'm setting a timer for 5 minutes. I'm going to take an extra long time in the bathroom while I hide my kids and just go like, boom, 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 just go follow people. Don't track it. Don't write it down. Once you send the invite, write their name down. Or if it's someone that you really want, like go follow it. But don't worry about that piece.
Don't waste time on it. Okay, cool.
No, and then one thing that's kind of handy too is if you're wanting to go back and being like, okay, I don't even know if they followed me back yet or whatever. If you go on your phone, I don't think you can do it on your computer, and you click your following, like who you're following, it will bring up a kind of cool category. I don't know if you guys can see it on here, but it'll bring up a least interacted with group. You can click on that, and then oftentimes those people aren't following you back. So you can go unfollow them, or you can also sort right here. Oh, there goes the timer. You can sort by like most recently added or longest term be followed. So sometimes I'll go to like the most recently added, and I'll just scroll through and see like, are they following me back? And then if they're not, and I don't really actually want to follow them if they're not following me back, I'll unfriend them. So that's like, it's something you could do. And again, that's doesn't have to be top of mind. That'd be like, I don't know, we're in the car and I've got, I'm just scrolling through being like, okay, I'll do this. And the way that you can see if someone's following you back, if you guys don't know, is if you go to their profile and you click, if they're a public profile, and you click on their following button, if they're following you, you're going to be the very first person at the top of the list. So that's how you know. So
cool. Thank you.
Yeah. So definitely, I mean, these are things, guys, that you could spend hours on, but most of us don't have hours to work our business. And so literally, like, let's say you only have 15 minutes that day. I would spend 15 minutes and I'd spend 5 minutes following people, 5 minutes connecting with them, and 5 minutes inviting. And if I only did that day, that would move my business forward, as long as I was like showing up a little bit in my stories too. So you can just kind of keep duplicating that behavior over and over again in little 5-minute blocks. So now we're going to connect. And this is one of those, again, going back to being social on social media, it doesn't feel like it is necessarily moving your business forward. And I don't know if you guys relate to this. I'm not a small talker. I'm really direct. I don't want to waste time just doing stuff, but the connection piece is what helps people come back to you. And it's what makes those invites feel non-spammy next week when you send them out. And so go look at your stories. I'll set another timer here, but go look at your stories and then like start going down, and you can see who people you haven't connected with in a while. So those, like, when you're, and what I mean by that is if you swipe over like on the top of your bar here, oops, no, there we go. If I swipe over far enough, the stories, their faces will be grayed out. Like they'll kind of be like opaque like that. That means I haven't engaged with them. So like if this makes sense, so you guys can see the difference here where it splits. You see how those people are like bright and then those people are opaque? That means I haven't engaged on their stuff, but they have stories up. So that means then I can go be like, okay, what is Casey Joy Project doing? Oh, she has a picture of her son, like that's super cute. Oh, we're gonna, and I'll just go engage on their stuff. And I will go watch their story, be like, oh, those are such cute, such cute bracelets, and actually just give them some love. Like, just go love on people. It's really easy to do. And again, this is something that you can do in just a couple minutes. If you don't have anybody who is great over on your account, maybe you don't have that many people following you or whatever, then just go on your like most recent posts or your most recent stories and do the same thing. Just go sprinkle some love on people. I really like to do stories because when I send a message from stories, it goes straight to their DMs. It goes straight to their inbox. And a little trick for you is when you Instagram message someone or Facebook message someone, that's a trigger for Instagram or Facebook to show your stuff in their feed more often, like, because you're engaging with them. And so like Casey Joy, like she has these super cute bracelets. So I'm just gonna be like, they are super cute. I'm just gonna be like, oh my gosh, so cute, super cute girl. Love those. So again, you can do this super fast. It doesn't take a long time. It's really, really easy to do. And yeah. And I do not drag on conversations. And what I mean by that is I don't like force them to continue. I will send some love and I will, interact back, but it's not like I'm like trying to drag on this convo. If I've been connecting with them fairly often and they're watching my stuff, we can engage back and forth a little bit, but then I can feel really comfortable sending them an invite in a couple days or next week if they're continuing to watch my stuff, because I know that I have been, on top of them, if that makes sense. Hopefully this is helpful. Mallory, should you switch your business? Okay, so I have mine listed as a creator account. I don't honestly know the huge difference between that and business, but the reason why I switched it is that I like that I can see my insights. So what I mean by that is I can actually go and click on these 3 little bars right here. It'll take me to insights, and then I can see the best times that my audience is on, like Wednesdays. They're, so I know my best times to post are between 9 and 6. I can see on my content what like my most engaged on posts are, and what that does is that tells me like, okay, people want to see more of that. So when I look at this, it's really easy because I know what I've posted about. I can be like, okay, people love when I share funny mom quotes. People like when I talk real and raw about our marriage. People like my transformation, and people like when I talk about my miscarriage. So I talk about those things a lot because I know that gets the most engagement. So you can keep it personal, but I like it for that reason, that I can see the insights. And the other reason I like it, and I don't believe you can do this in a personal account, is actually in my DMs, I can filter. So I can filter by read or unread, and that saves my butt, because I will just, or I can flag stuff. Because again, I'm not super organized and I don't have a lot of time, and that keeps me just kind of moving it forward, where I can go and be like, okay, which messages are unread or which ones are flagged? Those are the ones that I need to like prioritize right now. So that helps. Hopefully, does that help? Yeah. Okay, awesome. And then kind of the next one just leads right into this, where it's more connection, right? We're heavy on connecting. Like this is just being genuine. So you are going to look at the people who are connecting with you. So after you've gone and sent some love on people and you've made the initiation, go look at the people who have liked them, liked your post, commented on your post, and then go to your first Instagram story. That will have the highest number of views most likely, and do the same thing. Like if they're watching your story, go comment on it, go share it, go give them some, just like, thank you so much. And so some examples, and I can drop them in, or I'll just say, let's see here. I can drop them in the chat bar in a minute of things that I would say. Do you guys know how to see your viewers on Instagram stories? You should by this point, I think. Yeah, okay. Okay. You guys are pros. And I really like the connections because, again, I feel like it's genuine. It keeps the conversation going. And then when I shoot them an invite, I mean, if they're still engaging on my stuff, then it doesn't feel spammy, because I've already just been like, how are you guys hanging, like quarantine, asking how, like, is your state open, or how are you guys hanging in there in quarantine is legit the best. Like everyone wants to talk about it and everyone's in the same boat right now. So that's like the easiest just connection message to be like, how are you keeping yourselves busy? Or what does that look like for you or something like that. So. Is this helping? Yeah, okay, good. Are you guys, let's see here. Emily, or no, because like with time management stuff with kids, are there other things that would be helpful for you right now?
Yeah, I guess when you don't have time in the day, I guess what I'm struggling with right now is creating posts. Like
Yeah.
I'm like the person that like no one's on my Instagram unless I know you. And we have 3 kiddos. And so like before this, like only my inner circle was on my Instagram, and like I post about family, but
Yeah.
I was like not a stories girl before and all
Yeah.
of that. So I've found it hard just to like put things together. So I think once I have some things together, it'll be easier. But so I know that should be the number 1 priority, but if you can pick one other thing that you get done in the day, what is that? Is that following? Is that inviting? Is that,
Yeah, I think it's a little mashup of everything, right? Because it all sort of connects. Like if I don't have social media content, I have nothing to invite from. But
exactly.
if I'm connected with people, then it feels to be a immediate invite. So it's sort of like I just said, sometimes it's literally just 5 minutes of each. Like maybe I just spent, and also like take a little longer in the bathroom, like 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. So I think a little mix. And there are days where I don't send invites and I just do connections. And then I sometimes I just make sure I send that number of invites in a week. Like maybe my goal, like if my goal is a minimum of 3 a day, which it should be more, but like, let's say that's your bare minimum, then I know, okay, in a week, that's like 21 invites a week, which I should do more than that, but like that'd be, again, bare minimums here, like bottom of the barrel. Then I'm like, okay,
Yep.
I don't invite on Wednesday. I just need to make sure I send that many more on Thursday. And so sometimes I'll block up my time a little bit differently, just depending on how life is. With posts and stories, here's one thing that always helps me. And because I had to really learn this the hard way, and Emily, you're working full-time still, right? No, you're home.
No, I'm home, but we have 3 kiddos. They're 5, 4, and 1. So
yes, there's no time.
yeah, no.
I know. I think it's honestly sometimes easier working full time because you leave.
Yeah, it totally is. My husband gets to leave in the morning, and I'm like, one day he was like, "Do you want to go to work?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'd love to. I'll go get ready right now. You can stay home today."
I said that to my husband yesterday. I was like, "Can I go do mortgages?" Like, he's like, "Yeah,
please."
And I had to eat my words because I totally thought stay-at-home moms had it easier. I was like, you know how hard it is to, and I'm like, no, it's all hard. It's just hard. But so here's some things that helped me when I was first starting. First of all, is think about what you like to follow. If you had time to go watch stuff for fun, what kind of posts do you like to read and what kind of stories do you like to watch? Because those are going to be what your people like. So I'll give you an example. For me, and maybe it's like the history major in me, I really like seeing the whole day. I don't like to see 4 stories. I'm like, well, what were you doing the last 5? Like, I want to see the whole thing. So that's why I tend to have a lot of stories, because I like watching other people's stories. And I think it's really fun to see. If you're just like, stop it, if you have 20 million stories up, like that annoys me, then your followers probably feel like that too. So that would be thing number 1, is think about like, what do you like to watch? And I'll try to mix it up. And there's like some workouts and kids, but I just like to show little snippets of my day because I like to watch that. And I like when other people post their devotionals, and I like to see tips, meal prep and stuff. So I just kind of think of like, what do I like to receive? So how can I give that? And same with your posts. Do you like to write? Do you like to read longer thought out posts where they really kind of pack a punch? Or do you like when it's kind of short and sweet and to the point? Because there's really successful coaches who do both. And it's kind of, again, just your voice. I like to write. And again, I'm a context girl. I love to read. So my posts tend to be a little bit more wordy, but yours may not be. And so kind of first of all, just think about what you enjoy consuming and then duplicate that. Then things that I will do, and I think I've shared this with you guys before, but what I did a lot as a brand new coach is I would literally, and again, I was working full time, so it looked a little different for you now, but like when I had time, luckily my husband was home on the weekends and my kids were occupied, I would sit down and maybe write 3 posts for the week. I know I needed 1 every single day. So that would mean I need like at least 5 or 6 posts. And I would be like, okay, Motivation Monday, Transformation Tuesday, Recipe Wednesday. I'll talk about the business on Thursday, and Friday is going to be like, I don't know, Freebie Friday, Fight for It Friday. I mean, I don't know, just making something up. So I kind of have this little theme in my mind of like, okay, what can I do? And now here's another tip of why it's important to be consistent in your business. Facebook has that memories feature. So I copy my own posts all the time. Like, I'm like, dang, the ad 2018 had some really good posts. I'll just put a new photo on it. No one will remember that I posted this a year ago. Then you can even do the same for a few months ago. Like if you know, gosh, that photo of my husband and I totally blew up. I'm going to just kind of duplicate what I, rewrite it a little bit, but you can reuse content all the time. So, and there's a couple accounts, so I'll just show you guys an example. There's a few coach accounts that I do really like following, and I will get ideas from them. I don't plagiarize, obviously, but I really love. So Ashley Smith, she's a top 10 coach. She has like 1,000,001 stories every single day. And she just, you can see, like, she just takes you through her life, and she has business. So I get a lot of ideas from her where I'm like, okay, well, how was she talking about the business? What was she posting on her screen during her workout? Like, because she speaks my language very much. So I will not steal, but I will get inspo from her, and same with her photos. And she tends to write more wordy captions. But again, if I was not a coach already, I would probably go sign up with her because I totally relate. She has 3 kids, they're young, she loves Jesus, like all this stuff. So I will get post ideas from her and be like, okay, I loved how she wrote about motherhood here. I will not take this caption, but I'm going to take this idea and run with it. So that's a way that you can kind of do. And again, I really encourage you to be careful with doing this because you really want it to be your own voice and story. So if you're finding that this is clouding that, then don't do this. Another coach that I really love following, Caroline, she really leads with faith a lot. She doesn't have as many Instagram stories. She only has a few, but her captions are really inspiring and really powerful. And she really, so again, I get ideas. I'm like, oh man, I loved how she tied her faith into that. Brittany Leggett is another coach. She's a top coach. Her captions are actually not very long. She's not a big writer, but I just like, she's like super fun on design, and her husband was a special ops guy and they dealt with infertility. And she shares a lot about braids, but her captions, I guess that one's long, but oftentimes they're just really short. She does a lot of braid tutorials. She just adds a lot of value and shares some fun. And so those are some accounts like that I will go look at for inspo and ideas. And if you guys need help with that, I can, but that also helps me with my posts, where sometimes I'll save them in a collection on Instagram where you can save your posts, and I'll have like post ideas. Or if I see like she does really good poses and I'm really bad at taking selfies and I've had to learn, I'm like, okay, that is super cute. I can totally get Caleb to do a push-up with me. Or, I really like this pose. Well, I mean, she lives in Florida and I live in Oregon, so actually, her stuff looks totally wrong. But I could get some ideas of like, okay, I like that pose. I can imitate that setup. And I will literally be like, okay, she put her hand here, and then I'll go take it. It's so awkward to watch happen. It's so awkward, guys. I want you to know behind the scenes. I always am so worried that I'm going to get hit by a car and die, and someone's going to pick up my phone, and I'll look like the biggest narcissist ever, because it'll be like 20 million pictures of me trying to get this pose right. But that is one thing that I do for writing posts, and I will just kind of save them out. So hopefully that helps. That's sort of my process. The other thing that I do is you can save them. I will write them in the notes section on my phone. And then I also use the Plan app. I actually do most of my posts in here. You can use, I have a paid version, but you can do the free version. And so I will actually, I can show you guys this. Like, I have photos. These are my most recent ones, but then these are ones I haven't posted yet. And I can like move them around and see how they'll look on my feed. And I can pre-write those posts, and it will set a reminder for me to post it. So again, like when I was nursing Paisley and was stuck on the chair for hours, I just kind of sit and type up a post then, and it would just be saved. You can do that on the notes section on your phone too. So we can move on. Do you guys do some connections? Yeah? Okay, perfect. And did that help, Emily? Yeah, okay. So now we're gonna invite, guys. This is, again, most important. We've already done our connections. You've added some love. Do not overthink this, okay? This is a gift. Literally, if you're going to think about anything, think about where you would be if your coach hadn't shown up, right? Like, think of how cool your life is right now because of it. So don't get scared. So this would be a story example. And this would be one that I would send to somebody who I had already connected with, that I already knew, like whether I knew her in person, you know, she's a friend, or someone that I had already kind of connected with and was consistently coming back and watching my stuff. Emily, you should totally join us this month. Would it be okay if I send you more info? If she's actually watched the stories that I did about my challenge group. And that's why it's important to have them in there so you can talk about it. Or if you had some, like Stephanie, container videos, be like, oh my gosh, like this has been the coolest nutrition plan ever. I'm feeling amazing. Do you want some more info on my June group? Like easy. And you can do a voice message. You can do a video message and make it personal. And I love doing voice messages, honestly, if I can, because they're sometimes faster and they can hear your excitement. They can hear your voice. Like they can tell it's not just like a copy and paste thing. So that would be one. A post. So this would be like, and if you don't say hey sister or hey girl, like don't put their name in, actually, always put their name in. But I don't know if you saw, but I'm prepping my June boot camp and wanted to extend the invite. It's all about owning your confidence, health, and happiness this summer. Would it be okay if I sent you some more info? So you can kind of do that sort of a thing. Another one that I have sent, I'll just read it out to you. So go send some invites, like go to your stories, go look at your stuff. That's important. And let me find it here really quick. If you're on my team, I just shared this in our Pineapple Empire page. Or maybe I didn't. Maybe it didn't post. Yeah, the most recent post I did, if you're on my team, says protect your rank, advance your downline. At the bottom of that, I have some connection invites. But this would be one that I did that like to post where I shared my transformation. So hey, Sarah, thanks so much for the love on my bar transformation. It's always so nerve-wracking putting myself out there. I appreciate the support. Plus, it's what helps me stay on track with my fitness and nutrition goals, and I love this program. I actually have a few spots left in my virtual boot camp. I'd love to work with you on a fun and doable workout and nutrition plan tailored to your goals, and you can plug you into our incredible community. I share weekly meal plans and recipes, and we have so much fun. Would you like more info? So again, that's someone I've already connected with, but it's specifically saying like, thank you for loving my post. I really appreciate that. Thank you for loving my post this morning. Hope you're staying healthy and safe in all of this. Were you simply showing some support on my pick? If so, thank you. Or were you curious about possibly getting started during this quarantine time and connecting in our community? Either way, here to chat and happy to help and serve in any other way. So that's another one. A follow-up could be, and if these are helpful for you. Hey, how are you holding up over there? Does quarantine life have you happy or feeling a little, we're hanging in there and I'm loving the time with the kids, honestly. Just with a little yelling and whining in between the good moments. I'm finalizing everyone today for my boot camp. I know we've talked about it at some point. Let me know if your goals are the same and how we can help move you forward. I didn't mention these in these ones, but like you can talk about the fact that it's $20 off right now. It's an insane sale, guys, like absolutely insane. So just being like very confident and saying like, especially with follow-ups, like I don't want you to miss out on something. But it's so important every day to have something in your posts, like my posts, and I know Rachel's posts, they are not all call to action. Like if I go look at my most recent posts on Instagram, like none of I'll come out in a minute. None of the last 4, like they jab about stuff, but it's not like a heavy duty call to action. I'm really adding a lot of value. But my stories, every single day, I have a poll option, a drop your email below option, a little series about my boot camp or coaching. So I am like, you're not being a kitty right now. So you say hi? Okay, bye-bye. Go find daddy. So yeah. Go send your invites. Do you guys need help with invites at all? Like where are you at with those? Close the bathroom doors so they don't come back in.
Question for you, and I really hope that you can see this, but so I put the whole tell me more info or I want that $10 coupon as my options for, more info. And a couple people voted, but I can't actually tell because their name is so long what they voted for. Is there a way that I can figure that out?
Yeah. If you go to the poll, and let me find a poll that I have. Really quick.
I have the poll up in my story, and then I click on the bottom so I can see the people who voted.
Yeah.
But it doesn't actually show me what they voted for.
Yeah. So go to your poll like you have it, and then when you see the numbers,
Yeah.
if you click on that, it will take you to who clicked on what. Does that make sense?
Click. No, nothing's happening. Oh, see voters. Ay.
Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, guys, like I will say it is so rare that someone votes on my poll that actually means it. Usually it's an accident, or it's these super obnoxious, like Russian robot people. I don't even know what they are, like so annoying. So I block people all the time. Do not get discouraged if people are not clicking on your polls, okay? They are there, honestly, just to show them that there is the option to connect with you. And every so often someone will. And I always try every day just to have a pull up for fun, because people do engage on those. And sometimes if you haven't done it before, it takes them a while to catch on. So like today's was, I talked about like Water Wednesday in our challenge group. And I just said, what about you? I love to chug it. I have trouble getting it in. Like that's nothing serious. Or sometimes I have something like, do you love like sauerkraut? I love it. Do you love it or hate it? Once I did a story of my husband reloading the dishwasher because he hates how I load it. It's like, who's the better loader in your house? Like you or your spouse? Like just stuff for fun. And then what I'll do on those is I will engage and I'll just message them like if they voted on the poll, like, oh my gosh, your husband does that too. How funny. Like it's just a great connection point. I'm not inviting off of those things. So don't get discouraged again if the polls that you do have up for people to like join your group, if they're not clicking from, 90% of the time I have to extend the invite from them like watching my stuff or things like that. So don't let that discourage you because it happens to all of us. It's like shockingly rare that someone swipes up and actually fills out a form. Like, what? It's amazing. So yeah. And I block people all the time. Like I'm blocking someone right now. I don't feel bad about it. Your account, block away. People feel weird. And then for our last 10 minutes, again, it keeps sending your invites if you need to, but follow-ups. This is huge, and this is one of those things that you can feel, I think sometimes people feel salesy about it. I do not feel salesy. I know because I worked in sales that 80% of people come from the follow-up. Because you guys, I hate to break it to you, I love you all, but you're not top of their mind. Like you're not their priority in their day, and they get busy and their kid spills the milk on the table, or something else pops up that's more interesting to watch on social media or whatever, and they just might forget or get busy or it gets tabled. And so think about how many emails that you get sent when you leave something in your cart, like if you're shopping online or when there's a sale. Like businesses follow up, and you are a business and you don't have to feel bad about that. Okay, like own that with pride, because what I like to think about follow-ups is that it is showing them now how I will be as a coach. I will not leave them hanging, right? It's not just being like, oh, you told me your goals and I'm gonna let those slide. So it is also kind of my reputation on the line. And if someone asks me to not, that they're just over it, I won't bug them anymore. But until they tell me that, I will follow up. So my kind of process is I connect with them 3 times. After the 3rd time, I won't, but I will follow up with them monthly. So they will go on a list where I'm like, okay, like you filled out my application, or you told me in February that you wanted more info. So every single month, at the beginning of the month, they're going to get an invite to my next group, because I do take it seriously. But for more current people, let's say we've chatted, I've sent them some info, I haven't heard back. I wait about 24 hours or 48 hours, kind of depending. And then I'll just shoot the message like, hey, Stephanie, not sure if you got my last message or my email. Just wanted to check in and see if you had any questions on it. I sent a bunch of follow-ups today. Let me see here. I can show you guys what I was sending. Hey, Malia, just wanted to follow up with this and see if you had any questions. I'd love to have you, jump in. How can I help? I always end on a question so that they have to respond. Let's see here. Dun-dun-dun. Elizabeth was a follow-up, and she would not respond to me. I followed up, and then she had a question about shakes. Like when I finally was like, hey, just wanted to check in. I'd loved hearing your goals and would still love to have you jump in. And then she didn't message me back for 3 days after she told me her question. Hey, Beth, wanted to swing around if you had other questions on this. Did the workouts and recipes and accountability sound up your alley? I sent that last night, and she had a question this morning. So now she's probably not going to respond for 3 days, because that seems to be her MO. So it's just me kind of like, you can see, like, if I didn't ask, but she did have questions. So I was glad I followed up with her. So I just always be like, hey, wanted to make sure you see. I sometimes put it on me where I'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I haven't really checked back in with you on this. The kids were crazy today. What questions do you have? And I know they've seen it, and I'm annoyed with them that they haven't responded, but I'm going to put it on me, right? Like, so sorry. So those kinds of things. And again, you can do voice message. I really think that letting them know the sale is super important, and especially if you have those promo codes, give them a time stamp. Like, our group starts on, I'll create faux deadlines. Like, I need to make sure I want to get you set up by Monday so that you can get your stuff in time, like those kinds of things. My promo code, I only have 3 left, and I would love to save you a spot and give that to you. Can you let me know? Like, kind of create this sense of like exclusivity, this sense of like time sensitivity, like, be nice about it and be honest, but it's really important that you always give a very clear next step and when you will follow up with them by. I learned this working in college admissions. We would never not leave a high school student without them knowing when I was going to connect with them next and what I needed from them. So be like, okay, your next step is to let me know which of these 2 programs sounds up your alley so that I can give you all the info. Awesome, you like 21-day fix, perfect. So can you let me know today, which of these options, like which flavor of Shakeology you want? Like, I will give them like a very simple, like, treat with respect, but treat them like you would like a little, like, very clear, very simple, and then follow up with them when you haven't heard back. And also, like, push back a little bit if they're like, thanks so much, it's just really not a great time for me right now. I'm like, no worries, I totally get being busy. Can you share with me kind of what's going on so that I can make sure to follow up with you at the right month? And sometimes they'll just be like, I don't have time, or I'm really overwhelmed. And gently pushing at those objections a little bit can help me actually close the sale, because oftentimes they're just scared. And so it's like, oh, I totally get that. Okay, what if I set you up with a workout that's 20 minutes long so you can get in and out and showered in 30 minutes around your kids' nap time? Like, would that be doable for you right now? And like, I'm very understanding of them, but I'm not just letting that objection be like, okay, I'll let it go. Like, I'm just like, hey, can you explain to me like where you're at right now, or what do you need? Like, and sometimes, sometimes it's not the right time for them, and then they'll get on my list and I'll follow up with them again. So hopefully that helps with those pieces. Let's see, Stephanie, you just dropped something in the chat. Kind of funny, I had someone replied she didn't want to take a spot that someone else could have. Oh my gosh. So I would just say, like, girl, you are my priority. I know your dissertation is bonkers. Let's keep you healthy. Like make her feel extra loved. That's really cute. I love that. And I think too, like, here's the funny thing, and I think this is the same thing with invites, is when you present, like, we're all about being authentic on social media, right? But you're also presenting maybe a confidence that you don't fully have yet. And so when you're presenting it that way, sometimes people are like, well, I don't want to bug you because I'm sure your group is full or whatever. And you're like, I just want you to sign up. Like, I need you. So sometimes, like, just being like, no, I would love to have you, like, definitely come in. Or I'll reach out and be like, oh, I didn't want to annoy you, but like that group did sound really cool and I didn't know if there's fun. Like, no, I need you. So exactly, I just need one person. So yeah, don't be desperate, but definitely like make sure to connect with them. And then truly, guys, these little behaviors add up. And I have been, as a new coach, I would get in my own head, or life would get busy, and I'd push off these vitals until like the last week of the month. And then I'd spend all that week so stressed and with anxiety about hitting Success Club and these 3 people. And it became more about the numbers than about the person. And that's a really unhealthy space to run your business from, and that's going to burn you out. That's going to make you hate what you do. And so the next month you're going to repeat it because you're going to be like, oh my gosh, that was so hard. I don't want to work with business. And it's going to be this cycle. And so if I can encourage you on anything, it's being consistent and diligent in these small areas. Even like I said, even if it's only for 5 minutes, even if it's 5 minutes. And even, guys, if your stories suck that day and your post bombs, you showed up and you tended and you planted, and the harvest will come. It will. But you have to be consistent in these little things. And so I always personally make it a goal. Success Club is a non-negotiable for me, but I always try to lock it in the first or second week of the month, because that way I'm not stressed about it. And it's not this like anxiety hanging over my head. So I know that quite honestly, this business has about a 2 to 3 week lag time. So if I'm really struggling closing sales right now, what that means is I did not do a good job 2 or 3 weeks ago moving my business forward. And so all the things that you're doing right now, they will help you in May, but you're also planting all of the seeds that are going to be harvested in June and July. Like, know that there is the seasons. And so being consistent helps you to constantly have people to invite. And if you didn't listen to the National Wake Up Call, it was a really good one on how she never runs out of people to invite. Like, the last couple ones have been really, really good. Stephanie, I just got 8 messages back on my IGC. Connections, man, it works. And so then with these people that you connected with today, tomorrow or the next day, if they're still watching your stuff and you've kind of had a little bit of back and forth, you can shoot her a message. Just be like, hey girl, you should totally do the group with me. And it doesn't feel icky. And she might say, oh no, not right now. And that's okay. Like, you just keep the combos going. So I don't want to take more of your time. I know it's almost done. You guys, hopefully this was helpful. I will post this recording, and then I'll also share these slides in our new coach group. So you can just have these, like, if you need to go through them. One other tip that I really love to do, especially if I'm just like feeling a little stagnant or need some help, is I will go the Beachbody Champions page. If you guys are not in there yet, go add yourselves. It is awesome. And it is a big whole group from Beachbody, but they have live action hours and they have like announcements and stuff too. Don't get caught up with like stuff, like you can get sucked in here, but like right here, Haley has this whole thing on invites. And if I'm struggling with invites, I will literally type in invites and like it'll pull up, or I'll type in action hour and I can go work along with Brittany Leggett. I just showed you, I'm obsessed with her as a coach. Guess what? In March, she did a whole power hour right here. So I can just pull this up and work along with her. And it's awesome. So that was really, really helpful too. Sometimes or honestly, so Beachbody Champions, just request to join, corporate will approve you. There's a ton of stuff in here. Or just go on YouTube and search top coaches YouTube channels, Micah Folsom, Brittany Leggett, and just search power hours. And those will start popping up too. And sometimes I'll just work along with them because it just helps me be a little more accountable, or maybe think of things in a little bit of a different way. So that's just a little tip for you if you have some time late at night or on the weekend or whatever, to maximize. And truly, this business will pay out what you put in. You just might not see it. So you might be in a season where you're like, holy cow, I just sent all the connections and I've invited and nothing's happening. I promise it will happen. So you just have to stay consistent. And going back to that very first slide, laser focused on your vision. Always come back to your vision. Why are you doing this? Who are you doing it for? Why are you showing up? What difference will it make for your family? I can tell you, when I was working this business, and every day I was dropping my son off at daycare with his little backpack and the sniffles yet again, I could not be like, it's too hard to invite, I'm so scared. Be like, heck no, I'm sending those 5 invites. My son is getting out of daycare. This is why I'm working. So have that drive behind you and the gratitude of what this is doing for you, always at the forefront. Are you feeling stronger? Are you feeling more energetic? Are you growing in your confidence? Are you learning how to post on Instagram stories? There's so many fun things that are happening in your life. And so own those things. Coaching didn't solve all the world's problems by any means, but it really can be such a powerful solution for so many women who are looking for more. So don't be afraid to go out and invite and share this gift. And if you get some snarky messages back, we've all been there, and you can come cry on my shoulder and I'll help you. But just go and shine really bright. So is there any last things that you guys need tonight that would help you? You're good? Okay. So your goals are, you want to have your 3 people locked in by the 31st. If you've already hit Success Club, I'm going to challenge you a little bit, and I'm going to say talk about the business, because you kind of have the freedom to be like, okay, I've got my people set up in my group. So maybe start doing some stories about this business and what it's doing for you, and maybe invite your challengers who you've had for a couple weeks. Be like, hey, I see you showing up in the group. I see you loving it. You're doing what I'm doing. Let's chat about this. So you can send those kind of invites too. But if you're not at Success Club, you're inviting to your June group and you're getting them set up with your May discount. That is your focus. As you're signing people up, if you need help, post in our new coach training, connect with me or Rachel or whoever you need help with. We're here to help you guys, and we're so proud of you. So, sound good? Okay, awesome. I will talk to you guys. Oh, wait, first, let's take a photo, and I will post it in our new coach training group so that you guys can swipe it and feel it. So I won't do a boomerang, I'll just do a photo. Okay, ready? Everyone wave. Say 1, 2, 3. Yay. Okay, I'll share this in that group so you guys can post this if you want to. And you guys have an incredible Wednesday, and I will talk to you later. Bye.